Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is QS Yusuf Musa Uba, and I help professionals master quantity surveying softwares like PlanSwift, CosX, Navisworks, Syncro 4D, and so on. So in today's video, I'll walk you through how to take off for HVAC using PlanSwift templates. Whether you are handling air ducts, diffusers, or exhaust system, using a custom template will save you time, increase your accuracy, and streamline your estimating process. By the end of this tutorial, you will know how to leverage a fully functional HVAC takeoff template that can handle anything from supply air duct to return air grills. We'll cover everything on HVAC from the symbols, accessories, ductwork, both rectangular and circular duct, and also pipework, etc. And ensuring that your HVAC takeoff are faster and more precise than ever before. So if you are ready to take your HVAC estimating skills to the next level, grab a seat, open your PlanSwift, and let's dive in. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more PlanSwift tutorials and quantity surveying tips. Let's get started. So here we are in PlanSwift, and this is our drawing that we are going to use for this tutorial. As you can see, the drawing, the ductwork came in various colors. Here we have the blue, we have the red, we have the cyan, we have the purple, we have the green, and so on. So in HVAC duct drawings, colors are used to differentiate duct types and represent various airflows, helping to easily identify supply, return, fresh air, exhaust, and other air movements. So let's look at the various colors used and what they represent. So in here we have the supply air, which is mostly designed in blue color, and the supply air ducts carry conditioned air, either heated or cooled, from the HVAC system to various spaces, ensuring proper temperature and ventilation. Blue represents cooling, making it look ideal for supply air, though it can be heated as well. So for the return air duct collect air from the rooms and return it to the HVAC system for reconditioning or exposure, maintaining airflow balance. And green symbolize balance, fitting for air that is neither directly cooled nor heated. And the exhaust air, which is mostly orange or yellow. And the exhaust air duct removes stale or warm air from the spaces, maintaining air quality. Orange or yellow signifies the removal of air, representing caution or safety. The next is the outside air, which is mostly designed in brown color. The outside air duct bring fresh air, unconditioned air into the HVAC system for ventilation. Brown represents outdoor elements, symbolizing air drawn from the outside. Then the next is the relief air, which mostly come in purple. The relief air duct releases excess air to maintain proper building pressure, avoiding overpressurization. And purple is a distinct color representing controlled air release for balance. Then we have the fresh air, which is mostly light blue or cyan. And the fresh air duct bring untreated air from outside for ventilation or conditioning, ensuring health and comfort. And light blue or cyan symbolizing fresh air, clean air, ideal for unprocessed air entering the system. And the next is the heating supply air, which is mostly red. Red is commonly used to represent heated air being delivered through supply air duct, typically distributed via ceiling diffusers or supply vents. It can also be used for removal of foul air, which in this drawing, the red symbolize removal of foul air from the building so that it will not contaminate the fresh air within the building. The color is ideal for air that has been warmed for room heating. Additionally, red can indicate ducts or component handling high temperature air or industrial or process heating application, where managing elevated temperature is critical. So that's that for the color representation. So let's move to the symbols. and ductwork. Here we have the HVAC symbols list, which you are going to see most of them in the drawing. So you should be able to identify them when you see them. So here we have the wall louver, the door grill, the exhaust air arrow, the supply diffuser with blanking plates, the exhaust/return grill, the supply duct, exhaust/return duct, the volume damper box, the motorized damper unit, the fire damper, and so on. So and here we have the chill water supply and the chill water return. So I'll just give you a few minutes to go through them. Just look at them and go through them before we continue to the next. So that's that. Let's move to the next one, which is the HVAC ductwork. We have different type of bends. We have the variable bend, which you are going to see this a lot in the drawing, and also the branch ducts. I'll also give you a few minutes to go through them before we move to the next one. So that's that. Let's move to the next symbols. Here we have the HVAC symbols too, the fire damper, the ceiling diffuser, the ceiling return, and the ceiling exhaust. Take note of this, which you are going to see this a lot in the drawing, which you can also use it to identify the flow movement of the ductwork. That's the type of duct. So the next we have the AHU, which is the air handling unit. So this is a typical AHU, how it functions. Here you have the fan, here you have the reheat coil, and you have the cooling coil, and you have the supply air after the cooling or heating, then it will supply it to the building. Then here we have the back filter, and then here we have the preheat coil, and we have the filter, we have the mixing section, we have the outdoor, and the return air here. So this is a typical AHU system, which is the air handling unit. And the next is also air distribution. You have the square three-way cylinder diffuser, two-way cylinder diffuser, linear slot diffuser, and so on. So I'll give you a few minutes to also go through them. So that's that. Let's go back to our drawing. So this is the drawing. So in a nutshell, HVAC means providing the proper temperature and quality air in a closed area. So here we have the ducts, the ductwork, and in here we have another type of HVAC, which is the pipe work. This is only cooling, while this we have cooling and fresh air and so on, the heating and so on. But in here we have only cooling. So we are going to start with the ductwork. So if you are equipped with the template, so you go to BrainBox Expert System, and if you are not equipped with the template, you can check the link in the description to get your own copy. So you go to the HVAC. Under HVAC, you can see the template is categorized into 4, which during our takeoff, it is going to be more than that. You have only the supply duct, the return air duct, the pipe, and the accessories. So in here now, so you can see um, we have the exhaust air ducts, we have the outside air, we have the relief air, we have the fresh air, we have the heating supply air. So they all apply to this supply duct and return duct. All you need to do is just to change the name. That's all. So in here now, for the duct work, let's expand this. Let's start with the supply, which is the blue color as stated earlier. The blue color. As you can see here, we have a ceiling diffuser, which indicate that there is a flow. Air is diffused here. There's a flow of air. It supplies air into this area. So this a ceiling diffuser. If you go to your symbols, let's go to the symbols. Yes, you have. You see, here's a ceiling diffuser. Let's go back to the drawing. And also we have a ceiling exhaust. Let me check. Where do we have the exhaust? Yes, you can see here. You have a symbol for the ceiling exhaust. Which when you go back to your symbols, you can see the sign, the ceiling exhaust. So you can use this to identify the air movement, whether it is supplying or extracting. If it is supplying through the diffuser, you'll be able to identify whether it is supplying or extracting the air or removing the air from the building. So let's expand this and start our takeoff. So in here now you can see we have under supply duct, we have the duct mouthpiece, the duct collar, the duct supply, and then the circular duct supply too. So in here now, this is what is called the mouthpiece, and this is the collar, and this is the bend. So this variable bend, you can see from the ductwork, this is a variable bend. This is a variable bend. Let's go back. I think we have branch duct. Yes, this is it. As you can see. Go back to the symbol. You see, there's a branch duct. There's a branch duct, and so on. So this indicate a supply, and this indicate a return. Let's go back to our takeoff. So this is the mouthpiece. This is the collar. This is the bend, and then this is the supply, which is mouthpiece, collar, supply. Then we have circular ducts, which let me show you a circular duct before we continue. So in here we have a circular duct. You can see 400 mm diameter. We have the one of 65 mm diameter, and also the one of 150 mm diameter, and so on. So this is a circular duct. We have the one of 200 mm diameter and the one of 250 mm diameter. So this is a circular duct. You can see indicated here. Let's go back to the rectangular duct. So let's take off for this supply air duct. And for a drawing like this, where you have different air movements, where you have the relief air, you have the fresh air, you have the supply air, you have the return air. So it is good and advisable to itemize your takeoff, like categorize your takeoff so that you can easily identify the supply, the air, the return, and so on. So before I start my takeoff, I just go on count, and then I will call this supply duct. So you can click on anywhere on the drawing, and then click stop. So what this will do is when you go back to your takeoff summary, you can see it indicate that whatever it is going to come under this is a supply duct. So after I'm done with the supply, I will do the same, then rename it to maybe return duct or fresh air duct or outdoor relief air duct, and so on. to easily identify the type of duct you are working on, or for your more clarification. So that's that. Let's go back to our bookmark. So for the mouthpiece, when you click on the mouthpiece, you have a duct mouthpiece in meters, and here is a duct mouthpiece in square meters. So when you measure for the mouthpiece, it will give you two quantities. It will give you your quantities in meter square and also your quantity in meter. So the essence of getting your quantity in meter square is, let's say you want to fabricate your duct on site. So you need to know the number of sheets to be used for your fabrication. So when you have it in meter square, you'll be able to get the sheet size and then divide it by the square meter to get the actual number of sheets needed. Then in your bill of quantity, you can measure it in meters in your bill of quantity. So let's go on and start our takeoff. So you click on this green. You can see under the duct mouthpiece, we have width 1, height 1, and then width 2, height 2, and then quantity. How many numbers do you have? So for this now, let's go and check width 1 and height 1. So mostly it will come with a section for you to see. So in here, let's check the section. Let me click on stop for now. So you can see here we have a section. Let me turn this off. You see? So this is the width 1, and then this is the height 1. And here we have the width 2, and then this is the height 2 for the mouthpiece. And the length is 462.132. So we can now go back to our drawing or impute the figures here. Let me zoom a little. This is it. Let's click again. Sorry, double click. And we say width 1 is 850, and then width 2 is, height 1 is 400, and then width 2 is 550, and then height 2 is 300. So for the quantity, I think we have two numbers, but let's leave it for one. You can always change it later. And click OK, then we'll measure. So this is the mouthpiece. The measure. So let's say, for example, we have another mouthpiece here. You can see it's the same size. No. Yes, as you can see, it is the same size. And also this is 550 by 300. So for this mouthpiece, you can make it 2 number, double click and change the quantity to 2 number, and then click OK. So this is the quantity in square meter, and this is the quantity in meters. So that's that for the mouthpiece. So the next thing now is to do is to give it a name. Let's say 850 by 400 mouthpiece, and you click OK. So renaming them will make you to easily identify the type of duct when you want to remeasure the rest. So the next one is the color. When you click on the color, you can see we have a slight difference between the mouthpiece and the color. We have width 1, height 1, and then width 2, height 2. But under width 2 and height 2, you can see we have 0 and 0 because it is automated. Whatever you have for width 1 and width 1 is going to supply 2, width 2, and height 2. So you don't need to put in figures on this. All you need to do is specify your width 1 and height 1, which is 550 by 300. Say 550 and then 300. The number, you can always change the number, and we can rename it to 550 by 300 color. Then you click OK, and then measure the color from this point to this point. Click on stop. So that's that for the color. We have another one. No, we'll check later. So we are done with the mouthpiece and the color. So we have the quantity in square meter and the quantity in meters. So the next is the supply, which is this, and we have the bend. We'll measure that in numbers. So under the bend, click. You can see the same applicable to color, but we have a slight difference. We have add rise slash drop, then number of drop slash rise. So in here now, if you have a drop or rise in your ductwork, you can add it. So whether you have it in 2 places or in 3 places, so you add that to your measurement. So in here now, we don't have any drop. So I will just go on with my measurement, 550, 300, and then just click OK, and then take off. Also good to rename it 550 at 300, then click OK. So we have captured all the items for 550 by 300 ducts. So the next thing now is to count the bend, but before we count the bend, let's complete the takeoff and capture the others. So we have the mouthpiece, we have the collar, and we have the supply. So the next thing now to do is to measure orders. So you check if you have any order 550 by 300 supply, another 550 by 300 mouthpiece, and then another 550 by 300 collar. So let's start with the supply. So you just click on this green to continue your takeoff. See here we have another supply here. For another supply. This is 450 by 300. You see for yes, we have another supply here. We have another supply here. Let's say that's all for the supply. Then click on stop. Then let's check if we have another color. We have a color here. Yes, we have another color here. We have another color here. Let's say that's all for the color. Click stop. Mouthpiece. We have another mouthpiece. Yes, I have 2 mouthpieces here. So in here now for the mouthpiece, instead of remeasuring, since we have already measured one here, you can just multiply by the number quantity. We already have 2 here, which is this and this. So instead of remeasuring this, so you can just see 4. I have 4 numbers now. Just then click OK. So it captures these 2 mouthpieces here. So let's count the bend. We have 1, 2, 3, 3 bends. And click on stop. So that's that for 550 by 300 and 850 by 400 mouthpiece for this area. And the next thing now to do is to measure the others. We have the 300 by 300, we have the 250 by 200, we have another 250 by 200, another 300 by 300. So you can do that on your own. So the next thing now on our supply duct is we have a circular duct. So I will show you how to take off a circular duct before we continue the other takeoffs. So let's go back to bookmarks and pages. So in here now, we have a circular duct, but this circular duct is under relief air. This is relief air. This is fresh air. Let's go back and check. The purple is relief air, and the cyan is fresh air, as you can see. We have for relief air and fresh air. So now we'll go back. And then, like I said earlier, if you want to measure another type of duct, you can use good to always itemize your takeoff. So we'll call this relief air. And then click OK. You can click anywhere on the drawing and click here and then stop. So you can see it separates the supply duct and the relief air duct. So you go back to your template. Let's measure for this 400 mm diameter. You click. So as you can see, it's showing you to specify the diameter and also a drop/rise if there is any. So for this, we don't have any drop/rise. I will show you how to measure for the drop/rise when we get to the pipe work. But for this, we don't have any drop/rise for now. So we'll just put in the diameter and then click OK. Measure. Measure the straight. I have another one here. think that's all for this. Let's just stop at this point and measure the rest on your own. Just click OK. So you can see we have a square area of 129.80 and a total meter of 103.34. Then the bends, and count the bends. We have, this is a variable bend. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and so on. We have another bends here, and count the bends on your own. And then click stop. So that's how you count the bend and measure the pipe. So this is for the circular duct. So this is for the circular duct and for the relief air. So the next thing now, let me show you in case you have, let's say you want to measure for this. This thread is used to extract all the foul air in the toilet areas outside the building so that it will not contaminate the air within the building. So you can see it is placed directly towards the WC. So it extracts the air and then move it outside the building so that it shouldn't go out and contaminate the other part of the building. And let's say you want to measure for I've measured for relief air. Let's measure for relief air, but for the ductwork. So you can just go back. Here you see we have a branch bend, another branch bend here. So you can just go back. We have a mouthpiece. We don't have a mouthpiece. So all you need to do is now just go to supply and then click supply. What is the diameter? 500 by 300. This is another size. Let's say that's all for that. Now click OK. Go to your takeoff summary. Let's rename it 50 by 300. Apply. Then for this, name it to 100 diameter. Then click OK. 550. Now always put the figure after your takeoff. 550 by 300. And click OK. As you can see now we have our quantity in square meter. So that's that for the relief air. I'm just going to measure a few. So you measure the rest on your own. So let's measure the return air, which is this. So you can see how you can switch within whether you have a supply or a return duct or an exhaust air or the outside air or the relief air or the fresh air. All you need to do is just rename it from this point, or you can rename it here, itemize it from this point. So let's measure the return duct, which in here we have the return air duct to be green. You can see the sign, the ceiling exhaust sign, which is showing you that it is extracting the air from the building to the AHU, which is air handling unit. So with this, you'll be able to identify the function of the duct type or the air movement. So for the return duct, let's see, do we have any mouthpiece? We have a mouthpiece here. We have a bend. We have another bend and another mouthpiece here. So let's just measure the supply. You can measure the mouthpiece, the collar on your own. So let's measure the supply, which is 350 by 250. So before that, always categorize your takeoff. So let's click on this and then call it return air duct. Click OK. You can click anywhere on the drawing. You can see we have the supply, we have the relief air, and then we have the return air. What you need to do now is to click on this duct. We said it is 300 by 350, 300 by 250. All this remains 0. So change automatic. This is another size. Let's see if we have any other 300 by 250. This is another size. So let's say that was all for this type of duct. Then we'll click OK. So the next thing now is to measure the bends. One, two, three, and then click stop. So that's that for the return air. You can do the rest on your own, which is we have the 200 by 150 and also the 200 by 150 and also the 250 by 200. You can do that on your own, including the mouthpiece and the collar, just like I showed you earlier. So the next is the fresh air duct and the foul air duct. I'll allow you to do that on your own. So move to the next type of HVAC system, which is the cooling system only, where you don't have the relief air, a situation where the only thing required is to cool the temperature. So you can see under the legend, we have the refrigerant pipe, the condensate pipe, the outdoor unit split air conditioners, the exhaust fan, the volume control damper, the vertical chamber air conditioner, the fire damper, the rainproof shutter, and so on. So let's start with the floor plan. So in this HVAC system, the only thing required is cooling and then extracting the waste air outside the building. As you can see here, wall exhaust fan. Extract the waste air outside the building. And also here, as you can see, we have a ductwork with a volume control damper with fan that extracts all the waste air, foul air, within the toilet area outside the building, so that it will not contaminate the air in the hall. This is a multipurpose hall. You can see, just have the piping. We have another one that extracts all the smokes and everything from the kitchen area outside the building too. We have air cutting machine and so on. So for this type of HVAC, we are not going to use the supply duct or the return duct. For this, we are going to be using these pipes. We have the refrigerant pipe, we have the condensate pipe. So we are going to use pipes for this type of HVAC. And also another thing to note is there are some cases, like for example, this KF120 LW. When you go back to the legend, see KF120 LW is a vertical chamber air conditioner. So in a situation like this, you need to add some drop. This is a standing AC, so you need to add some drop. But in a situation where you have a wall-mounted air conditioner, you need to add some drops. Then again, you need to take note of this signs. This sign. So you can see you have it here, but you don't have it here. Let's go to the next plan. You can see we have it here, we have it here. So this sign, when you go back to your symbols, let's check symbols. You can see this is a riser tag. This shows you there's a rise or drop within that area. This is a riser tag, shows you that there's a rise or drop within that area. You can see this moves up to the roof level. You can see it here, to the outdoor unit. So the pipe moves off moves down from the outdoor unit down to the air conditioner. So those are the things you need to take note of for now. So let's start our takeoff. Let's go back to the ground floor. So this is the ground floor. We have a ductwork here. We are going to measure the duct and the pipe and then the accessories. The accessories are the conditioners. Those are counts. You can do that on your own. You can do the counting, but we are going to count few and then leave the rest for you to do it. So let's start with the refrigerant pipe. You can see this is the refrigerant pipe. So the page is scaled already. You want to do yours, you are going to scale your page first. You click. As I said earlier, there's no sign of any drop here, but if you want to add a little drop, you can add. But for now, we are not going to add any drop here. We'll just measure it as it is. Click OK. You can start at this point to allow for waste and then some adjustment. We'll measure from here to allow for some allowances. So that was all for ground floor. And click OK. We can move to the second floor, which is this. And we can continue our takeoff from this point. So you don't need to start a new takeoff. If you change another drawing, you can just move to your takeoff summary. From here, you can pick and continue the takeoff. Just click. I have to scale the page. Click OK. And then scale 5 meters. Meters. Yeah, I can now continue my takeoff now. Click. You can see in the ground floor we have 13.63 meters. So let's see what we have on the second floor. In the first floor, sorry. And take this straight to this level. So what you are going to do now at this point, as you can see, we have already measured all the pipes with with no sign of riser tag. You can see this is the riser tag. So we are not going to combine the takeoff, the ones with the riser tag and the ones that has no riser tag. If you want to, we can add, or if you can measure it separate. But let's measure it separate. Turn it off. And we now click. How many riser tag do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 18 riser tag. So what you are going to do now is go back to your drawing. This is the roof level. So it rise from the first floor to the roof level up to the outdoor units. Then you check the section. You can see this is the section. Let's use this. You can see here. So this is it. So this is an architectural section. We don't have the section showing the HVAC section. So we are going to make some reasonable assumptions here. So we are going to assume the outdoor units, the air conditioners are placed within this level, this window level. So I'm going to consider it being placed within this window level, above this window level, which is 1.5. So our rise now is going to be 1.5. Since this is outdoor here, 800. 800. So our rise now is going to be 1.5 meters from this point up to this point. 1.5 meters, or we can make it 1.6 depending on the allowance you want to allow for it. And make it 1.5 or 1.6, but 1.5 is okay because the 1.5 starts at this point here, so you can see. So by taking it 1.5 from this point, that means you have some more allowance here. So 1.5 is okay for the assumption because we don't have the section for the HVAC drawing. So go back to your first floor. So here it is. So let's measure the refrigerant pipe again. So you see, we have to add our drop. which we say it is 1, we assume to be 1.5. Then the number of drop, I think I counted 18, right? If I'm wrong, you can correct it. 18. And you click OK. So that's that. It has already recorded that for you. So the next thing now to do is to take this 1, 2. I think I did not add this ones here, about three of them. We can also go back and make the adjustment. So instead of 18, it is going to be 21 now. We'll adjust it after the takeoff. So that we can click stop and then make the adjustment to be 1. You can see quantity increases. Let's change it back to 18. See, we have 134. You see, it decreases. Click it back to 21, and then it's okay. So that's that for this. And the next thing to measure is this ones here. So we are going to continue with this. So continuation of this. You click scaling page, scale, yes. We have 5 meters here. I can now proceed with my takeoff. So this rise is the one we measured already, so you don't need to add another rise again. Just measure this. It does that for the refrigerant pipe. We'll click stop. So if you go back to your bookmark and pages, you can see we have two refrigerant pipe, 13.3 and 125.6. So this one is on the first floor and this one is on the ground floor. So you can see in here now you have three separate record. You have the one on the ground floor, and then two on the second floor, and then one on the roof level. But when you go back to your takeoff summary, you are going to see only two bookings and cumulative of the one from the second floor and the roof level. So you can see, and also part of the ones from the ground floor, 172.27 plus 226.97. This is your total refrigerant pipe for this building. So you go back. So if you check under the refrigerant pipe, we have reducers, bends, and T. So you are going to measure that on your own. I will leave that for you. So let's go back to the ducting. As you can see, we have a volume control damper grill here, another one here, and also a fan for extraction. And we also have a ductwork of 400 by 200, 400 by 200, and another one for 500 by 200. So go back to our supply, and then not circular, the normal duct, and then click the width. Width one is 400 and height one is 200. So as the same way applicable to the one we measured. So we don't have any rise or drop. The quantity, maintain it as 1, then click OK. Then we measure from this point to this point, and then another one from this point to this point. So those are the ones for 400 by 200. Let's see if we have anyone again. So we don't have anyone again. You can click on stop. So this is on our first floor. So let's go back to the ground floor whether we have any of this. So let's see. On our ground floor, we have the one of 630 by 250, and then another one for 500 by 250. So we don't have any 400 by, let's see, we have, is it 400? No. So we don't have any 400 by 200 again. So let's go back to the second floor and then go back to our bookmark and change this to, rename it to 400 by 200 supply. You click OK. Then we'll measure again. This is 500 by 200. Click 500 by 200 with 500, with 200, and then click OK. And this starts from this point up to this point. So click OK. So that's all for the ducting. So this is the mouthpiece, and then this is the fan. So you are going to measure the fans on your own. They are just counts, so you don't need to worry yourself. Just need to count them. Under here, the accessories. See, you have your fan, you have the AHU, you have the volume control damper, you have the improved shutter, which you are going to also count. Where are they? I think I saw one rainproof shutter here. Let me check. Is it here? Ground floor. Yes, we have 800 by 400 rainproof shutter. So they are just counts, so you can count that on your own. So we don't need to measure them here. And you see we have another fan here of what's 400 PA. Then let's for this fan and rainproof shutter, I think they are all given. The quantities are all given and the legend, as you can see. We see we have a fan of 3,400 and then one of 1,500, also one number. Then okay, we don't have the quantity for proof shutter here, but we have the symbol for proof shutter. So you are going to count the proof shutter, but we have the quantity for wall mounted air conditioner, which is one. This one too is one, but different sizes and different cooling capacity. And then wall mounted air conditioner too, another different cooling capacity, three number. The vertical chamber air conditioner, which is 2 number, and duct type air conditioner, which is 21 number. So we have duct type air conditioner and then the wall mounted air conditioner. So those are the ones in the ductwork, and then the fans. So all these ones, the quantities are given here, but it is advisable to confirm the quantities. So you can confirm the quantities. So these are the accessories here. We have the accessories here. So you come to this point and then count. So that will not be a big deal. I believe you can do that on your own. So let's finish up with the ductwork. So we are done with 500 by 200. So we have another one of 500 by 250. So let's measure this one too. Let's say 500 by, 250. Let's name it 500 by 250. And then click OK. You can always add your drop if you want to. This point to this point and click stop. We have another one of 600 by 630 by 250. 630 by 250. And here is 630. And 250. No add, no rise, no drop. Click OK. Then drag it up to this point. So you measure your mouthpiece, which is 800 by 400, just as we measured it earlier. You can do that and improve shorter. So if you have any problem, you can write it in the comment section or send an email to us so that we can give you more guide or solve it in our next video. So I think that's that for air conditioning. So we have the condensate pipe, which we have not treated, and also this air conditioning ACs. They are just counts. You can see them. These are the duct type air conditioners. We have not treated the duct type air conditioners. We have not treated the vertical chamber air conditioners and others. So they are all counts. So I believe you can count them. But if you have any issue, you can email us so that we'll treat that in our next video or give you more guide on what to do. You can find our email in the video description. So thank you for listening. See you in the next video.